9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin.
Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns on the quick on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
All messed up right now. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Let me take this out of studio mode and let me go close up. And because the Eagles just got the win, oh snap, we got the Go Birds going. Let me see. I'm gonna rep the Wings today. We got a win. We got an important win. We got a tough win. So I'm repping the Wings today. Fly, Eagles, fly. What's going on, y'all? Daniel Berry, first out the limo. Tiffany, as usual. Mike M, happy Monday to you. Nina, as usual. Chris, as usual. I appreciate y'all, man. And sitting here, my picks this week are hot garbage. Hot garbage. I had the Ravens winning this game. Detroit is all in them right now. They're up by a touchdown in the fourth quarter. You still got a lot of time left. You got 12 minutes left in the fourth. So a lot of stuff going on. You know what? I can kick that up real quick just so you can see it. Oh, I got to turn off this. I'll just do a cut in that way. Just to let y'all know, I'm putting my emotes in. That's what that is. That's my emote. So I got it together. I got it how I wanted it. And so that's what you get. Go Birds. And I'm gonna have a whole bunch of other ones. So now these emotes will pop up when I do my live streams. I got like 15, 16 other ones that I gotta input in, but that was just the first one I did to make sure it would work. Been messing around with this all day. Was messing around with it yesterday and had issues. I was trying to do different things, different ways. Finally got it. Just finally dropped it in OBS. Figured out a way. And then when I finally get it to work, I log into OBS to jump on the stream, and OBS has got an update that I got to do. So hopefully that won't change a bunch of stuff. But in any case, finally got it there, man. So the emotes are coming. Go Birds. Rocking the green hoodie. So that's all good. So a lot of stuff coming, man. Trying to step my game up. You always know me, man. So trying to do something different. So it's all good. Yeah, Carlos, bro. That's the question of the week here in Philly. I'm sure you was listening to Sports Talk Radio, heard it today, WIP. Hugh Douglas was talking about it today, and he was like, ain't nobody gonna convince him that Kevin Patullo called plays in the second half. He was like, it had to be Jalen, or it had to be something else. Now I know what Nick Sirianni said, but I think that it was Patullo, but I think Jalen Hurts had a lot more to do with that than he did in the first half. And the way that works is, and this is with Tom Brady types, Peyton Manning types, Drew Brees, probably Stafford to a degree, probably even Lamar and Josh Allen and those type of quarterbacks that really got it dialed in on what they want to do is Kevin Patullo is still calling the play. Now, mind you, let me preface everything I'm about to say by saying this is strictly my opinion, right? This is my opinion. So, oh yeah, I got to fix that. God, every time I change the scenes, that pops up, so I got to get rid of that. But Kevin Patullo will call the play. But Jalen Hurts will get to the point where he'll take the play. It might be 3, 4, 5 different variations of that play. You can flip it, go the other side. You can send somebody in motion, do something different. You can give somebody a hot route. That's why I always bring up that example. You remember in the Super Bowl when Jalen stepped up to the line, A.J. Brown was on the right side. It was that back shoulder fade he threw. A.J. was on his right side. Jalen came up, looked at the defense, and then he looked over at A.J. and did like this. Just something simple like that. And every week, every game, those symbols and gestures and all of that stuff changes. So nobody can get a beat on what exactly you're doing. You know, it could be as simple as Jalen might walk up to the or get in position to take the snap and look the defense and then put his mouthpiece in. You put your mouthpiece in, that means do something. If he scratches his head, instead of running the fade, maybe that's run a slant. You know what I mean? So if instead of saying ready, set, go, if the first word out of his mouth is set might be short for slant. You know what I mean? So different things like that. There's different ways to mess around with it. When you get on the line of scrimmage, if the first word out of your mouth is a color or a drink, is it a liquid? Is it a land? Is it Tahoe? Is it Tiger Woods? I've heard him say that a couple times. That obviously means something. If they say Tiger Woods, if they say Michael Jordan, it could be different things, and every name might mean something else. You know what I mean? So who knows? But I'm saying all that to say, in the second half, when Kevin Patullo was calling plays, he came over the radio and told Jalen, this is what we want to do, because before Kevin Patullo calls it, the guy up in the booth in the press box is looking at the defense, and he's got his chart of analytics. And the analytics say, hey, it's 3rd and 5, and we are in the third quarter. And when the opposition is 3rd and 5 or longer in the third quarter, the LA Rams run this defense 26.5% of the time. And we got these plays based on that defense. If you see this other look, we've got these 4 plays for that defense. If they do something crazy we didn't expect and they line up in man and go bring the house or whatever, you got a different scenario, situation, and an answer, hopefully, for everything that they might throw at you, any eventuality. That is the beauty of analytics. People take analytics and they go to the nth degree. Analytics was simply made so when defenses and offenses get their game plan together, they watch a ton of tape and they say, hey, this is what this team does in this situation this many times out of 10 or out of 100 or whatever the percentages say. They blitz on. That's why I don't know if you guys ever watch the Amazon feed on Thursday night, the Amazon Prime game. Watch that Amazon Plus where they put all of the graphics and stuff. It literally looks like you are watching somebody play a game of Madden. That's what it looks like. Because they got people in motion. It tracks them. It leaves a trail so you can see exactly which route they were running. It'll give you a red indicator on the defense, because what the AI is reading the defense and saying, hey, this guy has a higher percentage chance of coming on a blitz. And more times than not, they are not correct every time, but they are correct a lot of the time. And then all they're doing is playing percentages. And it's funny to see that cat and mouse thing, because all you're watching is a computer do the same thing the coaches are trying to do. And the computer makes the same amount of mistakes, because you never know when an offense or a defense is going to change, when they're going to go in motion. If they go in motion and they line up at a slot instead of an X, what do they normally do? So all of that stuff is changing. All of that stuff is trying to be deciphered by the offense and the defense. Defense does the same thing. They're looking at how many running backs they got. Is it a 13 set? Is it a 21 set? You got 2 tight ends? Is it a deuce? You got two wide receivers on both sides. Is he in ace? Is he in gun? Is he in pistol? Is it empty? Is it empty, but the halfback is lined up where a tight end is? Or is Saquon Barkley lined up in slot? Does that mean it's going to be a screen? So you got all of those things that happen. And defenses, the quarterback of the defense is the Mike linebacker. He's trying to figure things out. That's why you see Mike linebackers stepping up to the line, pointing people out. That's why you see centers look up and point people out. You ever notice that the center doesn't look back at the quarterback? Center looks back at the quarterback to get his aim together. But the guard taps the center on the shoulder to let him know it's time to hike the ball. The center doesn't do that because nowadays the center can't even hear the snap count anymore. That's why you'll see Dickerson or Tyler Steen looking back, got his hand on his hip looking backwards, and then Jalen will give him the nod, and then he'll tap it, and then they snap the ball. Sometimes it's not even a signal. It's not even a signal. So, yeah, I saw that. I saw Howie. We got another kick returner. Yeah, that was bad. You had to do that. You had to do that in that situation because you cannot muff 4 kick returns in a row. You can't do that. That's bad for business. So, in my opinion, he had to do that. Rightfully so. So, it is what it is. But let me see. Let me see if I can. Let me go to move. There we go. There we go. Go back to the second string. Let me see if I can do move. There we go. That's better. All right, we getting there. We getting there. There's always a chance when Howie Roseman has a phone nearby. There's always a chance, but I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Interesting thing here. Again, I mentioned this last night when I was talking to you guys. And I'm looking at all of the winning quarterbacks. Really just the quarterback play across the board. And I'm looking at this game. You got 8.5 minutes left. Right now, Jared Goff, they're winning. The Lions are winning. Jared Goff has 18 for 25 for 179 yards. Right? Lamar Jackson, 17 for 22, 206, 2 touchdowns. Jared Goff's got 1 TD. But I'm noticing the passing yardage is just not, nobody's blowing anybody out of the water. Nobody's blowing anybody out of the water. You saw what happened last week with Russell Simmons in New York. They should have beat the Cowboys. He threw for 30 yards, and they lost. They lost. Aaron Rodgers didn't play well. Jordan Love didn't play well. Joe Flacco didn't play well. When I say play well, I mean it wasn't like they won the games. So, but it wasn't like they were throwing it out, 300 and 400 yards passing. It wasn't like that at all. So that just goes to show that all of that criticism you get from Jalen, hell, even when he did have, what was that, 110 yards that first week, there's been a lot of situations that are very similar. Very similar. So, I just kind of chalk that up as Philadelphia is the low-hanging fruit for stuff like that. Because there's always going to be somebody that's still, the conversation is always going to come up that Jalen is not elite, and they'll go into those reasons, and then you have the other side of it, but he just wins. And you know me, my opinion is not going to change anybody's mind. It's just not. So I don't care about the rankings and all of that kind of stuff because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just got to get to the playoffs. Did Henry fumbled again? Like just now? You lying. Hold on. I got the game on, but I got one of them TVs that the screensaver come on. I don't know why the screensaver come on. Did he just fumble again? Yeah, Carlos. But at the end of the day, man, I don't we got to come to grips. And this is a little gripe I have with Eagles fans. Like, do you want to get the respect and all of the accolades, or do you still want to be considered the underdog? We thrive off of being the underdog. And then we get mad because they disrespecting us. Like, which way do you want it? It doesn't matter to me, because at the end of the day, it's going to play itself out on the field, right? It's going to play itself out on the field. No wonder I'm looking at the Monday Night Football. It's Barry Sanders. There we go. So, oh, he came from the backside. He didn't see him. Hutchinson with the forced fumble. Nice. He never saw him. He never saw him from the back, came across the top and ripped it. That has happened to me before. That is the worst feeling in the world. I was playing in 1989. We were playing University of Central Florida, and I took off on, it had to be like a 40 or 50 yard, which would have been a 100% touchdown. And this guy hawked me down, must have had an angle. I never saw him. And he came from behind on my right side and just came over and just ripped the ball out. And I had to be like on the 8-yard line or something. It was a guaranteed touchdown. Game was over. That would have been the winning touchdown. And I did not even see him. I know I got a picture of it somewhere, and it's me with the ball popping out. Never saw him. Good play by him. Good hustle by him. So that happens all the time. Yeah, Tiff. At this point, I don't care what they say. Haters gonna hate. But you know what? That's why I make a point. Look at all of the passing yards. Look at all of the passing yards that are 0-2 and 0-3. You know what I'm saying? So all of that stuff don't matter. I honestly believe this. That Jalen Hurts would get more respect if he threw for 350, 400 yards and lost. He would get more respect if he did that, as opposed to throwing for 150, 200, 225 and winning the game. Or if he throws for 215 but rushes for 40 more and wins the game. He would get more respect in the losing effort if he threw the ball all over the field. And it's like, y'all forgetting why we here. Because it's going to be, and I will continue to revisit this on through the year. Watch how many, as we get closer to the end of the year, watch how many of these quarterbacks got crazy yards and ain't going to sniff the playoffs. Crazy yards. They're going to be throwing the ball all over the field. Give them their accolades, but they ain't sniffing the playoffs. They're not sniffing it. So, just do what you do and make it work for the team where you are. Prime example, look at Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes. We gave Daniel Jones the damn business when he was with New York. Lo and behold, he goes to Indianapolis, beats the number 1 draft pick out of it, takes his position. That's Anthony Richardson, though. He brought that on himself. The minute he tapped himself out of a game as a quarterback and you got that C on your chest, nah, you was out, bro. But he took that position and ain't giving it back. And isn't it funny? This is where I look at the New York Giants and like, y'all stupid. Isn't it funny how much better Daniel Jones is playing when he's got a competent offensive line? I understand if you didn't want to pay Saquon. But the least you could have done was get an offensive line. That was the problem the whole time. And y'all couldn't figure that out. You wanted to pay Daniel Jones that $40 million or whatever it was that year that you should have re-signed Saquon, because you could have got him at a much cheaper price, and you still could have picked up some free agent offensive linemen to bolster that O-line. That was the problem the whole time. But you know what? Y'all know I say this a lot. Just because they pay those guys to be the smartest guys in the room doesn't mean they are. Those GMs, those scouts, they get paid quite well. And just because you get paid a certain salary does not mean you're worth it. And that is prevalent throughout the league. You look at these front office jobs, there's so much nepotism and ists and isms and favoritism and all of that kind of stuff in those upper offices, because you know good and damn well some of those people don't deserve those positions. They just don't. There's other people that are better. There's other people that are grind. But you know, in situations like that, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So Yeah, Eagle Goat. But guess what? They 3-0. That's almost the same thing with Jalen. They 3-0. Nobody had that on their bingo card for Daniel Jones in Indianapolis. That's the point. Changing environment works. The changing environment works. If you get a group of people that are trying to do the right thing and trying to figure it out, as opposed to they already know all the answers. That's why I always give Howie Roseman credit. I gotta go back and get my find my videotape. It's on YouTube from when we were at the parade in 2017. I got a video clip, me and Howie Roseman, and I say, like, dude, you are the Wizard of Philadelphia. You called it because I was at the alumni game that year and just got Howie, me and him. I had my camera up. I was like, what we gonna do this year? Howie was like, we going to the Super Bowl. And then I caught back up with him at the art museum and was like, yo, you called it, bro. I'm gonna find it before I get out of here. I'm gonna find it. But it's like, dude, you call it. And just to be in a situation where, because everybody says that. Everybody's the sky's the limit. Everybody's hyped and happy and positive in the beginning of the year. And then life hits you and injuries and all the things that happen in the season. And then your outlook gets changed. And everything we went through that year with Carson Wentz going now, Nick Foles stepping up and still getting it done. Taking Tom. The best thing about the 2017 Super Bowl is that we took Tom Brady's best shot. That joker had 500 yards passing or something like that. Tom Brady was throwing haymakers. And Nick Foles was bobbing and weaving, getting his shots in, hitting them with that jab. And at the end of the day, we beat him on points. We ain't knock him out, but we beat him on in the points. But it still counts. Derek Barnett and Brandon Graham made the play of the game the last possible moment you can make it when it mattered the most. So Howie Roseman, for me, I call him the Wizard of Philadelphia. Let me find that thing. I'm gonna find it. Hold on. I'm gonna find that video. I don't know if I can do probably not. I don't know if I can do oh, now we back to Go Birds. I'll leave it. I like it. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'll be able to show the audio. That's what I want you to hear, the audio when I was talking to him. We was out at the back. He was about to get on the bus. So I don't know if I that ain't it. That ain't me. I don't even know. Yeah, I can't even find it. Brady had 504. Yeah, that's right. Brady was throwing haymakers, man. Haymakers. Let me see. But we outlasted them. 370. Yeah. Yep. Stizzy Jenkins, coach, the mindset of Lurie gives us a chance every year. He wants to win, yes. Give that big team of confidence. Absolutely, man. I've told this story before. My second year with the Eagles was when Jeffrey Lurie bought the team. He bought the team after my rookie year. So I did have a chance to meet him, interact with him, all of that type of stuff. And I've told this story before. Preseason game in 1994. No reason that he should have known my name. And when I tell you, he shook everybody's hand that walked in that locker room after that preseason game and addressed everybody by their first name. So he had to take the time to know everybody's name. Now, the thing with the thing that really makes that special is because in camp, you might have 90-something guys for a 53-man roster. So this was early. So you had 80, 90 guys on the team, and he was now, I don't even know, to be honest with you, if he named off everybody by name. I just know that when I came in and he shook my hand and looked me in my eye, he called me by my first name. And I didn't think he knew who I was. And that was just him making a first impression. You know what I'm saying? So he was going about it the right way, not like Norman Brayman, cheap, wouldn't provide anything, had to pay extra for socks and all of those rumors you heard. A lot of that stuff was true. Norman Brayman. Now, if you ask somebody, I still have friends to this day that used to work for the Eagles organization in the offices, and they will tell you, like, Norman Brayman took care of them. He was a great boss for them. But the players, we were just assets. And that was quite evident. But I'm saying all that to say, Jeffrey Lurie came in and started changing the culture on day one, literally on day one, just from a handshake and a thank you. Little things led to bigger things, led to bigger things, led to Lincoln Financial. You know what I'm saying? It just elevated. Getting out of the vet, building a stadium across the street, not taxing the city too much, not trying to go in the city and put it in the same location, and understanding that complex down there in South Philly is still the best place for sports entertainment. It ain't about building a damn basketball arena in the middle of town. And then come to find out they smoked the whole city of Philadelphia. When I say they smoked them, they lied to them. That's what my dad used to say. When I was little, if I lied to him, he said, why you trying to smoke me? Why you trying to get one over on me? And that's what the Sixers did with Philadelphia. Trying to put them plans together for Fishtown and displacing all of those people and had the city in the uproar, and it was all a lie. It was all a lie so they can get new naming rights right back in the same place that they already are. It was just a long con. And I'm saying all that to say that the Eagles didn't have to do that. Didn't have to do that. They're gonna come through that again because I do think that Jeffrey Lurie is gonna upgrade and put a cap on the link. I think that's gonna happen because it's too much money to be made off of that. And honestly, he'd be silly not to do it. Yes, we lose the advantage of the weather. Are we really worried about that now? Do we still worry about that? Or do you want to be able to take your kids to a game in the middle of December when it's 10 degrees outside? You know, I don't mind it. I like the advantage that it gives you, but I also like the advantage of being the better team on a good track. So that way there are no excuses. No excuses. When we beat the Rams last year in the snow, we were slipping around just like they were. The only time that I thought it was an unfair advantage was in the Super Bowl. You could in 2022. And you can only bitch about that so much because the Chiefs played on the same field and they wasn't slipping around, but for whatever reason, we were. Our edge rushers could not turn that corner to save their life. Everybody was slipping and sliding. So, you chalk that up as a lesson learned. Bring that extra pair of cleats. Bring them 1.5-inch studs or whatever you got to do. But if Jeffrey Lurie has an opportunity to put that cap on the link, I think he'll take it. I think he'll take it because that opens you up. That opens you up for more venues, more activities down there, concerts, all of that type of stuff all year. Because you don't have to worry about cutting off a whole year. And you know what? You can still get one of them things where you can open it and close it. They can still do that. Some of the stuff they can do with technology now is so far off the chain, it's not even funny. If you ever get a chance, go on YouTube and look at the Arizona Cardinals stadium and how they roll in the turf. The field literally is on wheels and they roll it underneath the stadium so they can take it outside and let natural grass grow in the sun. Because because it's so hot down there in Phoenix, it's a dome, right? But they grow the grass naturally and they roll it back underneath the stadium. The engineering in that is off the friggin' chain. Incredible. So that's the kind of stuff you got to deal with. So if they do decide to put the cap on the link, rest assured it's going to be state of the art and it's going to be dope. Yeah, that's the other thing. Because if we do that, you know a Super Bowl is coming to Philly, right? You already know. But yeah, Josh Harris. Yep. It was all a long con, bro. It was all a long con. You had all them people worried about losing their homes and their family business and stuff down there, and I thought that was horrible what they did. Thought it was horrible. How much does a team make off a parity win? I don't know what a parity win is. Is that a betting thing? I have no idea. Atlanta has a retractable roof. Absolutely. They know where the money's made, man. They know where the money's made. I remember like back in the day when I played in Atlanta, what was it called back then? Was it the Atlanta Dome or whatever it was called? I just remember playing in it. And literally it was like playing in somebody's living room. Because I mean it was a big arena and it was a lot of people would show up, but the stands were so close to the benches, like maybe 10, 15 feet behind the benches. It was like literally like being in the living room. You could turn around on the bench and have a conversation with somebody sitting in the first row. And it wasn't like you had to yell because everything was enclosed. The way the sound bounced and all that kind of stuff. It was just a weird experience because you go to situations like that. Like if you go to the link, naturally you're going to be out there talking loud and things like that because you outside and everybody's yelling. Your voice travels. There's nothing to send it back to you. Nothing like that. But when you in domes like that, it's a very intimate setting. And like you can have conversations with people sitting in the first section. So it was a kind of cool experience because you was that close, but it was still a barrier right there. And it was just odd. It was just not odd, but odd's not the right word, but it was a unique experience that you at a professional football game and you can turn around and you can talk to somebody in the first row. Just like we having the conversation now, because they will hear you. They will hear you. So Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Thank you, sir. Yep. The Georgia Dome. Yep. So yeah. They want to have a good time. Yeah, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. They're gonna take the weather out of it. Especially for the Super Bowl, they're gonna take the weather out of it. But it can never be a situation like it was in 22. And the reason why it was like that in 22 is because all the time what they were rehearsing for the Super Bowl halftime show, and they just beat down that turf and they just trampled it. And Kansas City was ready for it. So, but we'll see. We'll see. Hey, look, I'm looking forward to 2030 because that's when Philadelphia is supposed to get their WNBA team. So I'm looking forward to that. Interesting. What did they ask you to? If you thought like what you thought about it, or they mentioned a new stadium, how much people would like it. Gave you that 10 question questionnaire. It looks like the Lions are going to win this game 38-24, maybe if the Ravens score again. But I think this game is over. A minute 42 left. The Lions came back and they will be 2-1. So good game by Detroit. I picked the Ravens to win this game, and wrong again. My picks this week are trash. So parody playoff. I got you. I was like, what the hell is a parody game? So yeah, I got the sound off, but I looked up a couple times and he didn't look like he was too happy. So Alex, I remember hearing about that, and I thought that was an issue. I thought that was a problem because to me, that's That's borderline on unfair advantage. So, nah, I beg to differ. I don't think. Well, it's still too early, but honestly, I would say don't. You might have to start. Still too early. I don't even want to say it like that. But what I was going to say was, you got to start. I can at least say this: you got to start paying attention to the Chargers. So you got to start paying attention to the Chargers because the Chargers might come out the AFC West. Denver looks pretty good. Houston, no. I think Indianapolis is going to come down to earth. Jacksonville, no. Tennessee, no. Pittsburgh, no. Cleveland, no. Cincinnati, no. Baltimore, no. Buffalo, yes. Miami, no. So the only real teams in the AFC, in my opinion, right now, you're looking at that I can see going to the playoffs and making noise. Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Baltimore will get it together and they'll make the playoffs. Maybe Jacksonville and the Chargers and Kansas City. So you got Kansas City and Denver. Somebody got to cancel themselves out. So we'll see. But they got a couple teams. So we'll see what happens. What's up, Alex? What's your hot take, bro? Look ahead. If we beat Tampa, Philly would be undefeated going into the bye. That's great, but yeah, concentrate on this week because Tampa Bay has our number. Tampa Bay has put belt to ass to us last couple times we played them. So yeah, let's concentrate. I know they're missing Mike Evans because he hurt his hamstring. So, did you see the Falcons fired Ike Hilliard? Damn, they did not like what happened in that last game, man. Get rid of him. Yeah, we healthy this time. Yep, and we're gonna be looking to give AJ Brown the game, but I'm just telling you, Todd Bowles seems to have us dialed in. So we'll see what they come up with. You already know right now, Todd Bowles is gonna bring the blitz. They brought it last year and we didn't have an answer. So we gotta be better at that. I'll take that back. I'm thinking of 2023. So we gotta take care of business. Yeah, Tampa Bay is just one of them things. But we got to take care of it. Hopefully we can be undefeated going into the bye, but you got to take it. Every week is a season. I say that all the time. Every week is a season. Doesn't matter what happened last week. Doesn't matter what Fred Johnson did last week because he got to do it again this week. And he needs to be better this week than he was last week. Lane Johnson got to wrap that hammy up or that neck injury or stinger or whatever he got and make sure we don't get hit with that again. So, but at least we know who our backup is now. But Fred Johnson is a swing tackle, so he can go both sides. So let's just get everybody healthy so we ain't gonna have no problems. How about that? So, yeah, I read that, Tiff. They changing their travel schedule. They're leaving a day earlier. So you can go down there and get used to the heat. Because I believe last time we played down there, we had a lot of guys cramping up. Just tell them to bring a lot of pickle juice. That's all you got to do. I didn't even know. I saw this. I saw a little thing on social media the other day. And it was one of the girls that gets the locker room ready on game day. And she had, like, people forget how much these guys eat. If the game is not until like 4:00 or 8:00, she's there at 7 a.m. She's got snacks and Crustables and drinks and any conceivable thing that players would want. They had the different energy gels. This person wanted this one. This person wanted this flavor. Everybody got pickle juice because it was supposed to be. I didn't know there was a brand of pickle juice that you could buy, like a sports energy electrolyte type drink. But they had all of that stuff, and they got refrigerators on wheels that they wheel out in the middle of the locker room. They set up tables. Now, back when I was playing, back in my day, All they had on they would set up the outdoor picnic tables in the middle of the locker room, or they would put it all on we used to have a ping pong table, and it was orange slices, amphetamines, and coffee. And I mean that literally. It was orange slices on one half of the table. It was a bunch of little cups, and you could grab little packs of amphetamines. Literally, it was a pack of about 6 or 8 pills, green ones, yellow ones, red ones, the sandy colored ones. It was amphetamines, pet pills, and then you had a thing of coffee. So you would take your pet pills, wash it down with water or coffee or whatever, and that's what we did at halftime. Now they have a whole recovery training table for you at halftime. The technology and the knowledge and know-how for medical and fitness and food, nutrition, and all of that kind of stuff is so far off the charts, it's not even funny. So it's not even funny. Yo, we was loose back in the day, man. They didn't care about that. You couldn't do that now, obviously, but it was par for the course back in the day. So it looks like going for the 2-point conversion, and they do not get it. So they got to get the ball back, score again, and get a 2-point conversion in less than 30 seconds. Game's probably over. Yeah, you know what? That was a Philly thing, though. That goes back to what I was saying about Norman Braman. They didn't care about that because there were other places that had like legit training tables and stuff like that. We used to when we would travel, we would still go to the hotel and get the food provided by the hotel. They would have a banquet room for us, and usually they would have like steaks, pancakes, and all that kind. They would load you up with carbs the night before. So it was always a lot of protein, a lot of carbs. So you could get steak and eggs for dinner. And of course, steak, chicken breast, broccoli, rice, all of that type of stuff. Filet mignon, all of that type of stuff. So they would, and then if you wanted pancakes, you could have pancakes too. And then, but everything was provided by the hotel. Now, I want to go over to NovaCare to eat because I know they're gonna put it down. Because let me tell you something. When I go to the alumni days and we go to the FanDuel room and all of the food that they have ready for us, man, let me tell you something. I would go to the FanDuel room and pay to have dinner just because I know the food is that good. It just stuff that the Philly just didn't do. Like I said, on the West Coast, I know we had a couple guys on the team that came from the 49ers, and their experience was different because the 49ers, they had championships and Joe Montana, and they had the best of the best out there. And the Raiders was out there, and the Raiders got history and Al Davis, and they had money and championships. So if you come from a team that had championships, you was getting the best of the best. Unfortunately, back in that time, the Eagles, it just wasn't happening like that. Wasn't happening like that. Yeah, they had spaghetti. They had spaghetti too, bro. They had the pasta too. However they wanted to do it, man. So it is what it is. Times have changed. Times have changed. So, but yeah, it's interesting when you look back at all that kind of stuff and you see how people really used to get down. And it was kind of crazy. All right, let me see. I think I got this. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go here. Let me go here. And let me go. Damn. This channel is old. This is my original YouTube channel when I thought YouTube was like MySpace. I have 29 subscribers on this channel. 29. But let me see if I can find this. I got a lot of old stuff. There we go. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it though. Let me see. Yeah, me and Doug Peterson. Let me see. Second screen. Yeah, I edited this. I put this together. Um, there we go. We was all at the art museum. We go me and Invincible Vic. There he is. Invincible himself. Yeah, to go Westbrook, me and Westbrook, all them people down there, man. We had so much fun, man. So much fun. Seth smoking his cigar. I got a good picture of Seth. I told him like to blow the smoke out, so I got a real good side profile. This picture right here, him blowing smoke after the cigar. Let me see. I love this part right here, man. I always talk about this. Watch, Brandon Graham gives us the trophy. BG gives us the trophy, hands us the trophy, and we got to pass it around, take pictures with it. They go Fred X. I wouldn't have kissed that because everybody's nasty hands was on it. But that's my boy Boots, John Booty, me and Ken Dunnick. Um, yeah, man, that was fun, bro. My boy Luther Broughton, Trot, Pastor Herb, rest in peace, Pastor Herb. He died a couple years ago. Herb Lusk. We had everybody with it, man. And yeah, BG. Let me find the part where there we go. That's it right there. Yep. Got it done, man. We had so much fun that day, man. So much fun. We was down at the art museum for a long time too. We was down there all day. And then what's so funny is I brought a ball with me. I got all of the alumni. We signed a Super Bowl ball, and I ended up leaving it at the museum. I called down there to see if anybody had found it. Luckily, one of the ladies had found it, and they mailed it. They shipped it to me. They mailed it to me. So I was sick when I lost that ball. I left that ball right in the room. I said, I'll be daggone. I got it up there. I got it up there too. But yeah, that was cool, man. That was cool. But I did all of that just to say, you know, Howie, the vision that Howie had back in the day. You know what I mean? We were doing something. Howie was doing something next level. He was doing something next level. And even when I referred to meeting Jeffrey Lurie for the first time, shaking everybody's hand, changing the culture from that one moment on, and you look at how things have changed, and we become a destination team and all that type of stuff. Um, it's phenomenal, phenomenal. So, um, so yeah, man, love it, love it, love it. Yeah, ain't kissing that either. Nah, not that day, bro. Everybody's hand was on that trophy. I didn't know what Fred was doing. I was like, bro, you crazy? But yeah, we had fun, man. Um, nah, that was the real one, dude. That was the one that they had on the butts. That was one they had on the podium when everybody was giving their speeches. So that was the real deal. So that was the day of. So nah, that wasn't a fake, bro. That was not a fake, man. Yeah, we had fun, man. We had a lot of fun. And let me tell you something. It was cold outside, brother. It was cold. But it was a ton of people out there, man. Ton of people out there. Philly was in full effect, no problems. It was all good. People was all those statues in the middle of that cul-de-sac, right in front of the art museum. They got them all of those statues. Everybody had climbed on those statues, was watching it from hanging off the side of the statue. Man, it was crazy. It was crazy, man. People had camped out. There was people down there in tents that had camped out the night before just so they could be there first. It was ridiculous, man. And again, it was freezing down there. It was freezing, but it was so much fun, man. So much fun. So and then I mean, shoot, 23 last year. I mean, it was just as many people out there. It wasn't quite as cold, but it was cold still. So I remember the first one. I know I got a picture somewhere. I ran into Rhea Hughes. I got a picture with me and Rhea. Um, I got a picture. I'm gonna have to go. Give me a couple weeks. Maybe I'll do that during the bye week. I'm gonna go in and hook the OBS up so when I play an external video, y'all can hear the sound because I want y'all to see like they had all of the crowd like barred off. They had like the little, like the little queue fences that they get, that they put up, and everybody was back. They had a whole bunch of cops up there. So every time they see any Eagles player, they was mobbing us. We was signing autographs. We was taking pictures. Every time we would stop to talk to somebody, everybody would bust out in the Eagles chant. And it was just weird because I've been in packed stadiums before where I'm 5-10 feet from the crowd, and then you see all of those people. But to see like 200, 300,000 people and just a sea of people and everybody trying to dap you up and hug you and all that type of stuff, man. It was just a good feeling, man. Just a good feeling. Glad to be a part of it. Hopefully we can see something like that again when the Phillies win the World Series. So we'll see. We shall see. But it was fun, man. Yeah, I know they got that trophy. But the reason why I say that is because I know that was the trophy they got at the game, and I know they get a bunch of other ones. Because then a couple days later, we went down to NovaCare, and they had a evening for all the alumni to go down to the NovaCare and take pictures with the trophy. So they had a little room set up to the side. They had the trophy on the pedestal, and we got to go in there and pick it up. And everybody brought their family, so everybody had poses with the trophy, just like they did at the link this year. I brought my grandson and one of my best friends. We went down there. We took pictures with both trophies. All the alumni was down there. Some of the guys I played with, Calvin Williams. Who else was down? Calvin Williams was down there. Mo Johnson was down there. Boots was down there. I didn't see Seth. Barrett Brooks came down there. So it was a lot of guys down there, man, just to kind of hang out, eat finger food, chicken fingers and fries, and just kind of hang out. So they do stuff like that, man, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Lots of fun. So the one well, I guess the topic that I'm supposed to be talking about, I done went all around Robin's barn tonight, man. The Eagles offense. The expectations now for the Eagles offense is that. That's the expectation now. So now the pressure is really on because now if we don't see that, we're going to be mad. I already know it's coming. And rest assured, we're going to have another game where we might barely get over 200 yards passing, but we're going to get the W, and people are going to be mad because now we've seen the potential of what we could do. Just imagine if we could have done that for 4 quarters. We would have dominated that game, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. So you have to take advantage of the opportunities you get. We talked about that before. One play can't lose you a game. But if that one play presents an opportunity, if you can't capitalize on that opportunity, that's what loses you the game. LA Rams had an opportunity to beat us. All they had to do was successfully execute a field goal, something they do time and time and time again, except on that day. That move that Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis practiced worked. They executed their move better than the Rams blocked. And we took advantage of our opportunity and took it to the ultimate end. That's how you win games. Every time our defense tips the ball, gets their hands on the ball, every time Quinyon Mitchell gets his hands on the ball and drops it, that's an opportunity that we didn't take advantage of. Because that could have been positive yards, flip the field. When Andrew Makuba got that pick against Kansas City, he flipped the field. If he goes down in the end zone, we're at the 20, or if he tried to come out and gets tackled at the 3, we probably end up punting again. I don't know. But because he flipped the field, that at least puts us in line with our kicker to score points. So we made the most out of that opportunity. I think we ended up scoring off of that. So that's how you win the games. We took advantage and made the most of the opportunities we were given, especially the ones in the second half. Especially the ones. That call by Merrill Reese was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Love it. I love it. Him and Mike. I'm gonna have to try to get Mike on here, man. Mike Quick. I would consider Mike Quick a friend. Every time we see each other, we dap each other up. And this is what I consider somebody to be a friend or not. I got Mike Quick's number. If I call Mike, he'll call me back. And it's not like I call and we talk like every week, and it's not even close. Not even close. But we've been in each other's company enough that I got his phone number and he's got mine. And if I call, he'll call back or text back. It's like, hey, what's up? That sort of thing. So I'm gonna have to try to get Quick on here one day. I'm still trying to get Quick. I'm still trying to get Trot. I'm still trying to get Seth. And I'm definitely, I don't know why just got busy and forgot about it. I don't know why I didn't get my boy Jason Dunn on here. So I jumped on his stream after the Kansas City game. So, but yeah, we're gonna have to get some people on here, man. Definitely gonna have to get some people on here. You know what? I gotta bring my boy back. One of my teammates. Anybody, I don't think there's anybody in the chat that was with me when I was still with A2D Radio. Shout out to A2D Radio. But one of my boys that I played in the World League with, Jim Ballard. Jim Ballard, he was our quarterback when we won the World Bowl. He ended up playing like 3-4 years with Buffalo. But Jim Ballard coached Nick Sirianni at Mount Union. Like, so he knew about Sirianni when we hired him. I had him on my show the day after the famous press conference when Nick got hired and the flower speech. And everybody was firing off at Nick Sirianni. And I got to find it. I know I still got it somewhere. But he told me, what's up, K-Sap? My dude K-Sap in the building. If y'all don't know who K-Sap is, whenever y'all see me in this setting right here and you see that SBD Simply Ball dropping, that's my man K-Sap. We support each other. So shout out to my man K-Sap. But yeah, Jim Ballard came on my show after the famous press conference with the flowers and planting soil and all that kind of stuff. And he told me, he said, trust me, this dude is different. He was like, this dude has got what it takes. He's a winner. His family knows how to win. He was like, I know it don't seem like it now. He said, but you got to trust me. This dude is for real. You got to go. I remember him saying that, and I was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. And he was like, he was like, all right. He said, but you got to trust me on this one. He was 100% right. He knew. He took Sirianni took his lumps. Yeah, I'm working on a case app. I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate it. Yo, you got to see my emotes, man. I don't know if he was on here later or earlier. I got my emotes going in my check it out on my transitions. I got emotes going now, so so I'm working on it, bro. I'm trying to make it work. Appreciate it though, bro. Appreciate it. So yeah, man, it was crazy that he said that. It was crazy that he said it. So I tell you what, I'll tell you a story it's funny, but Really, in reality, it just makes me feel kind of old. When I was working at the Apple store, I used to work at the Apple store in Cherry Hill. Shout out to my people at the Apple store. Still love y'all. Love that place to this day. And I ain't gonna lie, if I had to, I'd go back because that's how much I enjoyed it. But uh Trot came in there one day and he saw me. I was like, "What's up?" And I helped him out and all that stuff. But a week before, my boss at that store, she was a store leader. She was the store leader. Um, Shout out to my friend Toby. She had told me her son was in his first year of playing football, and they had a game, and this kid on the other team knocked her son out. Like, hit him so hard that the kid wasn't right, and he didn't come back in the game. And it was Trot Jr. Trot Jr. had to be like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old. But she told me that story the week before Jeremiah came in the store. So I was like, Trot. I was like, come here, man. Come here. Come here. So I went in the back. I got Toby. I was like, yo, Toby, come here. I got somebody you want to meet. So I introduced her to Jeremiah Trotter, and I was like, just want to let you know. I said, Toby, Jeremiah, your son knocked Toby out of the game last week. Knocked Toby's son out of the game. And she was just like, put her head down. She was embarrassed. He started laughing. But I say that, and then I look at Jeremiah Trotter Jr. on the Eagles. On the Eagles. Playing and playing well. I remember meeting Jahad Campbell when he played at Timber Creek because he was playing with one of the kids that I coached. He was playing with Donovan Lurie, and I coached Donovan because I coached with Donovan's dad. Devin used to play for the Ravens, and Donovan was playing at Illinois. Last I checked, I don't know if he's still there, but yeah, just small world, man, and how fast people grow out, and then that kid I saw at Timber Creek is starting and is going to be a beast in this league. It's going to be a beast in this league, and hopefully, we'll do right by Jahad because I don't want to see him go the same way like Hassan Reddick. Keep your homeboys at home. Jahad is a hometown kid. South Jersey's own. Keep your homeboys at home. Hassan Reddick, right from Camden. Keep your homeboys at home. I was sad to see Hassan go. And quite honestly, he ain't been the same since. You know what I mean? So hopefully we may have learned some lessons about that. But in any case, we've got to get it together. The expectations for our offense now is going to be off the chain. It's going to be through the roof. And if Jalen doesn't play that brand of football every game, the criticism it's not like it wasn't bad before. The criticism was always there. But for some reason, I just think that the arrows are going to be a little bit sharper now. Because now we've seen the potential. It's not like we hadn't seen it before. We saw it in the Super Bowl. But this year, again, this is a brand new year. Super Bowl don't matter no more. And this is the first time that we've seen, like, all right, that's the Jalen we've been waiting for. How come we couldn't have that for 4 quarters? So now the question is, was it Patullo? Did Kevin Patullo just flip a switch, and all of a sudden the play calling just got better? All of a sudden we found a way to get the ball to A.J. Brown. We found a way to throw a touchdown to Dallas Goedert. We still ain't quite figured out the run game, but I got my own thoughts on that. I don't want to. How long have I been beating that dead horse? So, and even tonight, looking at the game tonight, how many times did they run outside? How many times did they come back inside? Did they run a good trap up the middle? It just seems like we don't run those plays well. We don't block them right. And it sets us up for failure. I know Saquon is the best back in the business, but he still have to have holes to run through. He can't do it on his own. And I hate it that every time Saquon gets outside, it's because he had to make a jump cut to get out of traffic inside the tackles. I want a play designed to go outside. I don't want to have to bounce it outside and shake somebody or break somebody's ankle to get outside. So we'll see. It's coming. It's coming. Jalen pinched Patullo. That's what everybody's saying. Jalen did it. So, whew. The Ravens have allowed the most points through 3 weeks, 97, tied with Miami. Good Lord. Defense wins championships, y'all. No. They don't miss Becton because Tyler Steen is playing quite well. And they never should have had Fred. They never should have put Pryor in before Fred Johnson. I understand why they did it because Fred Johnson practiced. Fred Johnson was Mailata's backup. And I think Stoutland went to Fred Johnson to just flip him like, yo, can you play on the other side? Because we got to get him out of there. Because he got Jalen blowed up twice. Jalen got his head knocked out twice. It wouldn't surprise me if they let Matt Pryor go. That's how bad that game was. So, Edward, no, I don't think they missed Becton. Because Becton's hurt now, isn't he? Becton's hurt too. I think. Let me see. Let me be sure of that. I thought Becton was hurt. I got to fix this, man. I got to Google Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton injury. Mekhi Becton suffers injury versus the Broncos. Week 3 against the Broncos. Not long after Najee Harris suffered a non-contact injury. Najee Harris, that sucks, man. Star offensive guard Mekhi Becton left the game with a head injury, so he's probably in concussion protocol. So he might miss the next week. Yeah, so he's hurt too. Yeah, Howie wasn't stupid. He went and got him back. So that paid dividends for us, man. Let's keep it a buck. That paid dividends for us. So, but I mean, the way it works now is that that offense, we expect to see that offense every time now. And if we don't see it, we're going to be upset. That's just the way it is going to go. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. It'll be interesting to see what they change. Are we going to see a lot more motion? I hope so, but we'll see. So, but the expectations are up there. But it will be very nice if we can take care of business in Tampa Bay and go into this bye week undefeated. That would be phenomenal. And more importantly, I want us to get through those games clean. A clean game means no injuries. We got to stay clean. You got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy for obvious reasons. So, but in any case, man. All right, that's all I got. I'm about to get up out of here. Me and Tone tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Our midweek, the Bald Eagles podcast, midweek 7:30 p.m. And I think I did it tonight. I'm gonna create some more graphics. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call this segment Late Night with Coach Marcus. And it'll be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Because I don't think you get a lot of people on Friday because Friday everybody's out. And, you know, they doing the weekend stuff. So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10:30 p.m., Late Night with Coach Marcus. Yeah. It is what it is. When you get familiar with somebody, you kind of want somebody who knows the landscape. Were there probably people better than him? Probably yes. But that's part of the isms. Favoritism. You got somebody that comes in, and I guarantee you it's probably offensive linemen that are better than Matt Pryor, but the coaches know him, the organization knows him, and there's value in that. Now, I don't know how they can justify that now, but he's demoted. Demotion. So he's down to third string. So hopefully we won't have to cross that bridge again. But we'll see. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow with me and Tone, 7:30 p.m. Then after that, the WNBA games coming on. Pulling for my Indiana Fever and Kelsey Mitchell. From my high school, from my hometown, Cincinnati, Ohio, Princeton High School. Put your hand over your heart every time you say it. And then I got to watch Alien Earth, episode 8. Can't wait. It's going to be good. But I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate everybody. Tiffany, as usual. Espo, I appreciate you, bro. Edward King, don't be a stranger. Quentin, Alex, as usual. Was Carlos in here? My man K-Sap. K-Sap, we got to hook up, bro. Jack Straw, Don Vaughn, everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to get up out of here and eat a couple more chicken wings before I go to bed. And then I will catch y'all tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Bald Eagles Podcast. Be there, be square, go Birds.